players, sure, but otherwise there's not a whole bunch for TSM to go back and look back on. So what are they going to be going for? Is this going to be more strategic picks, or is this what they don't like to play? Well, this seems to be a somewhat map-specific ban.
Not shocking either that TSM will be starting on the defense, considering, as you said, Jesse, it is BDS's map pick. So we talked about this yesterday in the SSG-EG game, where, hey, if you pick club, get ready to be down at the half. Get ready to come back. And SSG showed that they can do exactly that yesterday, even if they eventually fell short on Phillip. So we lose two hard breachers. We lose a Hibana and a Maverick on Clubhouse. That is going to make the attacking side even more difficult than it already is.
Interesting decision from BDS, because again, as you were just talking about, they're going to have to battle back, likely from a deficit. This is going to make that deficit very, very steep. I think 4-2, 5-1 is going to be looking like what we're headed towards the half. But if we see something like that, and you're a BDS fan, don't panic too hard, because this is going to be a thing where the side swap happens and BDS start to get more rounds on the board.
We'll round it out with one more defender ban coming up from TSM, and that'll be the Mira. So we saw the effectiveness of Mira yesterday on Club, again from the EG SSG game. Interesting, though, that both Maestro and Echo will be left available, both slipping through the ban phase. So that's a lot of plant denial. That's just going to make the defense even stronger. The attackers are down two hard breachers. Oh boy, are BDS in for one here to start things off. Sometimes
we talk about Clubhouse's defender-sided map, and then we look a little bit silly because the attacks actually do quite well, or maybe even do better than the defenders. But that's usually because of the bans, right? If the bans don't go too heavily in favor of the defense, it can be a pretty balanced map. The bans went very heavily in favor of the defense, though, in this one. I mean, every single one of those looks to me like a ban that favors the attackers in some way, shape, or form, right? Or favors the defenders, excuse me. You've lost two important hard breachers, and then you keep both Maestro and Echo alive. Yeah, that's just so much utility the defense have to play with, and it's so difficult for the attackers to try to open anything up. Starting on the basement, more likely than not, it'll be BDS using that thermite to try to open up perhaps the dirt tunnel and a hatch, but I would guess it could be, you could do two hatches, you could do the hatch in the wall, probably the most likely thing we'll see. They're gonna have to make choices though, because again, they can't get everything they want.
No, and they're gonna, I don't know. I mean, you think back to year one, you think about the old takes where it usually was just kitchen hatch and church wall with the thermite. I mean, like I said, Team BDS have a lot of year one pro league experience in Europe, and they're gonna be able to fall back on that. And on the flip side, TSM don't. The only member that I can recall playing year one of Pro League on the TSM roster was Pojo back on the flip side, and got him gaming back in the day. So for BDS starting on the attack, they have a lot of experience playing in this old hat meta, and for TSM, they might not actually be too familiar with playing against it, especially in the two hard breach ban nowadays. It's very uncommon.
As we start off this round, there's nothing crazy going on. A lot of times round number one's in a best of three, we see teams go for spawn peaks or go for runouts. Just something aggressive that you can try to set the pace of the game with. TSM perhaps not feeling that's their style today, and of course, they have that potential. We know there's gunners on this squad. You mentioned them earlier. I think this trio of Merc, Achieved, and Bolo is going to be something you have to watch out for if you're BDS. There's players you really want to focus on. Shaiko is wasting no time getting into this building. They want to clear this top floor. They want to make sure that there's nobody from TSM who's going to scare them, and then they can focus on this bomb site. Then they can focus on actually getting in.
You can see Achieve in the cardiac sensor, just checking to see if anyone's going to get a little too swift here moving towards the main stairs for BDS, but they're taking things pretty precautiously. I'm not surprised, honestly, when you're dealing with a team, like you said, with this this much firepower on the other side for BDS. Take things slow, take things methodical, make sure there's no one roaming and no one going to catch you off guard, and looks like Rafael is actually going to use one of his exothermic charges on Dirt Tunnel. So this might be a pure armory push. This is also another strat that was used back in the day where it was just Dirt Tunnel and Kitchen Hatch to really isolate armory as your push.
I don't hate it coming out from the French. I mean, it does give you a couple of angles to get into the bomb site. That's very nice to have. Of course, TSM can clue to the fact that they're going to be in that tunnel, and they can really focus and pinch it down, not let any of those French players inside. That's going to be really huge for the guys on TSM. So they're going to try to hold on down. Shaiko has clearly cleared out those top floors. There was nobody roaming really from TSM too far away from the bomb site. They're in on it now, and they're droning in towards those bombs. Shaiko trying to fire in through the wall. There's nobody quite there. You still see a little bit of top floor control, at least on this first floor. That is going to be the Zofia being out by RX, and he's looking through those floorboards. Notably, the hatch still not opened up. So if that's what they're trying to go for, that's been a bit of a failure for so far. It's been about 2 minutes into this round, and they still haven't quite found anything. 5 alive on both sides.
they've cleared out deep arsenal for the most part. You just got to worry about K9, those racks at the back. And Legion Mines be spotted out, and Shaiko taking fire there at the bottom of the main stairs. Panic's extremely low after his battles from the kitchen floor. Now pressing up close to the wall. Renshiro will actually start things off onto Achieve. Another one now for Renshiro, bursting his way through Moto as they all come pouring in. Shaiko will tack on and take down Pojo. It's a 2v5 for TSM now. The defensive-sided meta now turned on its head. It's a 5v2 in favor of the attack, and they all come crashing down. RX will drop Jarvis. It's a flawless round in the attack. BDS shot out of a cannon on round number 1.
What? We were just talking about, okay, they got no hard breachers. Like, it might be going up against a Maestro and an Echo. They don't even open up the kitchen hatch as far as I had seen in that round. You're opening up Dirt Tunnel with your Thermite, and then they just walk in and get a flawless round. I mean, BDS, very well credit to them. Clearly, they were walking in and winning their gunfights. Love that to see, especially up against a frag-heavy team like TSM. Achieve being the opening death there and then followed up quickly with another one of his teammates gone. That's a little bit worrying, especially since we're on that defense. I don't know what the issue was there for TSM. Perhaps not enough information on where these guys were coming in and when.
That's a weird thing to say, too, with an Echo and a Maestro at the availability of the defenders. Not enough intel, but yeah, looks like they're going to swap off the Maestro over to the Echo now, and they're going to retry downstairs inside of Church Arsenal here for Team SoloMid. And like I said in the pre-show, last remaining North American hope when this event was dominated by presence of North American teams. Again, I don't know, the arguments will still fly on Reddit and Twitter about the NA versus EU conversation, but Liquid also being in the finals throws a nice little wrench into that plan.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's been a while since Latin America has been a key focus for most of the Siege community. I think a lot of the times they've been a little bit sleepy. This time around, though, Liquid showing up in the grand finals. They'll meet the winner of this best of 3. Of course, we're in semifinal number 2, so that's about how that works for you. If you're watching the last match, you will be aware. But in terms of this hold, TSM, they could try to go a little bit more aggressively than last time. BDS wasted no time in getting control of those top couple of floors. They were easily on that top floor. You saw Shaiko running on into CCTV. He had no problem getting aware and getting some ground there. You saw some people just coming down from the stairs, though. Bolo and Achieve don't seem too eager to be running around up there. Possible Jarvis is up there. I'm not sure exactly where that guy's playing right now. And there's a lot of Dirt Tunnel late into the round pressure. This could be a peek coming from Achieve, but it being all reinforced means this is actually going to be an Electro Claw trick if he decides to stay up here.
Didn't put far enough to the left there. There you go, Achieve. Now he hit both walls, and I don't know why he's not putting that a little higher. Stay away from a frag grenade, but obviously they have a Thatcher, so you're not really too stressed if you're BDS about that.
So RX entering onto the top floor. Once again, BDS is going to take this nice and simply. They're going to clear out the top floor, they're going to clear out the first floor, and then they're going to focus on that basement. Last time, they really didn't have any troubles in terms of clearing this all out. And again, it looks like most of the attackers are downstairs in the basement, if not all of them right now. So again, it seems like, yeah, BDS, a lot of control on this second and first floor very, very early. Right now, sitting inside the bar is Shaiko, and he can get on his drones and go see what's going on the bomb site.
Panic's going to be contesting blue this time instead of staring down the barrel of the kitchen floorboards, but I imagine the attack will look to replicate once again for BDS. Hard to beat a flawless round here. It looks like they're collapsing once again to focus in towards deep arsenal, but it was really the opening picks for Renshiro pushing through Moto. That's kind of just a safety net for you. You stack a guy inside of Moto or on top of the Moto hatch just to be sure there's no flanks coming down the main hallway when you want to push into deep arsenal from the main hallway, but hey, it worked out for him, and everything kind of just snowballed after Renshiro got those openers.
The top part of that church wall had been opened up, so there's an opportunity for an impact trick should TSM be feeling it. At the moment, though, I mean, it's all on to BDS to actually get on into this one, right? They're doing a lot of drone work right now, and that can totally pay off. I think last time around, that is a big thing that helped them, just having that information. Here's an entry from Shaiko. He doesn't have an angle on that player who's playing all the way inside of blue. He's going to throw in a drone, maybe just as a distraction. Panic's on here if they want to go for a bit of a pinch into blue, but there's still a little bit in front of Shaiko he's going to have to deal with, notably the bomb site and anybody who might be inside a church. So there's one behind the table, and he hits it. A great shot achieved. The second time in a row, he'll be the opening death of this match. Shaiko looking for more. He's going to be finding a couple of players there inside of church, but it's Pojoman, and he's able to hit the shot that he needs to. It's going to be a headshot onto Shaiko. Equalizing now, but Renshiro makes sure that it's not equal for very long. 35 seconds on that clock, and fire arrows will burn out a couple of players. Jarvis is the one to get a kill on a Panic Zone, and that's with a gun. Coming back, still 3-3. These kills have been trickling in from both sides, 2 dead on each. There's Needle in the goo mine foot of RX. Still worried about this. I mean, up in the kitchen, Rafael waiting for somebody to push forward. Oh, Renshiro, a great shot through the peak hole. Finds Jarvis's head, was right on the other side of it, and he was able to thread that needle. RX still inside of the dirt tunnel, loses the gunfight to Bolo. Merc with another kill, puts one player left alive, and he's going for the plant. Surely he's not going to be able to do it. Rafael gets off it because he knows he has to frag, gets the first, but no way, he turns in time. Beautiful job to stay alive from the last remaining member of TSM.
That was TSM looking to strike back, and you can see it from Jarvis's play, and you can see it from Achieved as well, attempting to take aim in towards Moto, and then Jarvis with his spring towards the blue stairwell, making sure that there was no possibility for anyone to clamp down and cover off rotations there for TSM. So much better response to the entries for Team SoloMid on that defense, and now they'll look elsewhere after being successful. It took a couple tries to get it done, which is, again, a little surprising, but that's just credit to how well BDS played the first round. Now we push onward. We're going to go to CCTV and Cash for TSM.
Perhaps TSM a little bit sleepy. I mean, it's a bit early in the morning. They got the second map, so perhaps it's not the greatest excuse for them. EG and Liquid certainly had to be up a little bit earlier. But either way, it's going to be 1-1 after 2 rounds in a row. I would like to see Achieved survive a little bit longer, despite the fact they won that round. Him going down twice in a row first, little bit concerning. You can see, of course, he's got 0 and 2 on the scoreboard. Ryan Shiro, though, wow, 5 and 1, 2 rounds in, probably not going to keep that pace up, but still very impressive coming out from him. Not often a player you think of as a huge fragger for BDS either.
No, typically you're thinking of the duo of RX and Shaiko, and Panix can get in. It depends on the map.
Yeah.
Panix is a very flexible player. He plays a lot of different roles. He's gone through phases of being entry to hard breach to support, everything on the scale and on the spectrum. Panix has played at one point in his career, so he's a very flexible player and can play just about anything the team will require of him. So it depends on the map, but for RX and Shaiko, really, those are the 2 entries you really expect to do things. And speaking of a 5-1 record on the scoreboard right now, Merc will stop that in its tracks when Shiro will get spawn peeked by Merc, and he'll return to Rafters. That's a nice opener considering that's the Thatcher. They can drop everything down on walls and doors now and make sure that there's even a harder task now for Rafael to open up walls.
For those of you keeping track at home, that's 5 and 2 for the stat line after that opening death from Ryan Shiro. You're welcome, Siege2G. RX is going to start entering into stock, and again, they want to take control of this first floor, ideally, and then play up through the floorboards. They don't have a buck, so it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but they do have a little bit of stock destruction at range. RX found himself in a slight engagement. Now that he's down here on a beautifully played gunfight, takes down Bolo and equalizes our numbers. This has been a good entry from BDS. Despite the fact they got spawned with their Thatcher early, that could struggle, or make them struggle to open up this CCTV wall. But if RX is doing what he's doing and getting those bandit batteries from down below, hey, that's just as good.
Yeah, he's still going to be able to apply pressure. Shaiko can come in as well. It's exactly what he'll look to do as Rafael's placed on the wall. Shaiko's going to use one of his breaching charges on the Cash stairs, and oh my, they've thrown out Jarvis now, and Nitro goes soaring, and Shaiko, honestly, very nice shot onto the Nitro there. It wasn't even close enough to do any damage to him, but at the end of the day, very nice shot there onto the Nitro. He's going to blow open the moto hatch as well and go hunting for Jarvis downstairs in the blue tunnel. I'm not sure if Jarvis is well aware of this. He's still looking skyward. Shaiko ready to turn the corner. Still has his eyes trained on the top man, but I think that cardiac sensor might have noticed Shaiko for just a moment. He's going to get back on, though. He's got no idea. The drone comes down. We'll spot him behind the generator. The spot comes out, but there goes Shaiko once again. Beautiful execution from the entire team. Shots rain down now upon Shaiko as he's on 5 HP, but they do still have the man advantage.
That was a really great shot coming out from the French player. And at least TSM with only 3 players left alive. I mean, you don't like losing Jarvis down below. You were hoping that he could just be undetected and come in a little bit later for a flank. As soon as he got pinged, he knew, oh no, there's a push coming. And at that point in time, unless hitting a miracle shot, he's not getting out of that. So yeah, a couple of members of TSM kind of being picked off a little earlier than they'd like, and they're going to have to try to hold on with the players they still have remaining. It's not been a ton of ground game by BDS. It's all this first floor, right? The garage hasn't seen a whole lot of action. We haven't seen a whole lot coming from back-end construction either. So they're going to be coming it pretty vertically, and this can be a little bit difficult, especially when you're coming from the downside up. Now they're a little bit in garage as well, so they have that information, but they still haven't opened up this wall. And again, that's going to be largely due to the fact that they killed Ryan Shiro so early, right off with a spawn peak. There's 30 seconds, and Shaiko's really wanted to get in onto construction. With so little HP, though, it's very, very risky, and somebody still could jump out to one of those other windows and cause them some trouble. RX gunfight on the staircase, but the player on TSM knows he doesn't want to take this gunfight, right? You don't have to do anything aggressive like that. Merc is watching outside too, but Pojoman takes the gunfight eventually and equalizes those numbers. Shaiko wants a little HP, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's gotten his second Pojo with 2 as well, but there's 5 seconds on his clock. Merc with a double kill, one-on-one. Shaiko, Merc fighting inside of construction. This will be it, and Merc's on top. Couple of headshots to finish up this round, and TSM take the lead.
NS, Merc. NS. Beautiful work there for TSM. Again, they a quite panicked round, and honestly, Shaiko getting in there on the entry really caused me some concern there. I was starting to have a little bit of a heart attack watching that, thinking, this should be TSM. They were able to stall out the CCTV wall for the entire round. They were never able to open it up. And I don't want to say for sure, but it really does seem like it was an Electroclaw just placed on the ceiling and lounge the entire time that everyone down there could see, and just no one ever shot. So you got to feel for, I guess, the visibility there for BDS, but for TSM, I mean, good opener there from Merc. I think that was 3 on the round for him, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, TSM, they put 2 together in a row here, and this is a much better start compared to the first round. You can see the kill totals though, still leaning the way of BDS right now. That's heavily due to that first round. They're gonna have to go to gym and bedroom, a bomb site that has been pretty iffy. Although we finally do see a castle coming out. Yesterday on Club between EG and SSG, saw a whole game without a castle being run on gym bedroom. It was quite unorthodox. It didn't really work out so hot.
No, it did not. I think castle's pretty standard here on gym bedroom, so I mean, fine. All right, Jarvis bringing this. I think it's going to be second by BDS. They did bring a little bit to try to counter that. No sledge, which is what we often see brought when attacking this bomb site, and it'd be no secret that TSM are going here because Barstock is the least popular bomb site, that being the other one around. So, yeah, surprising. It's not really that they're coming over to gym bedroom. And with TSM, I mean, trying to defend this one, it's again going to be the least likely that they win of the 3 core bomb sites. So perhaps the best chance for BDS to equalize here, the fact that they got that opening one to Church Arsenal, if the rest of the bomb sites go as you expect, might not be too huge of a deal, because that could just mean, well, it's the exact same as if you won every bomb site except for 2 gym bedroom defenses.
I don't care how many times the G2 Twitter account chirps me, Barstock is still defendable. It's still great.
Yeah, okay.
I hate you, G2. I love you, though. Wow, that's an angle right there from Shaiko. He's on top of the rooftop of the freezer exit door, looking down towards the main stairs, just trying to catch anyone on a rotate. It looked like it was going to be achieved, but he's all the way downstairs in the basement now. Polo trying to go for a bandage stretch, and he's stunned out of his mind, trying to evacuate to safety on the main stairs as he dips away. Shaiko not holding the angle anymore, so it avoids or allows Bolo to retreat to safety without any real impediment to his progress. Oh, a nice peek coming out there from Achieve down in the basement, but just a millisecond too early as RX will turn his attention back towards it, and he's well aware of Achieve's location now. He's going to have to go for a bit of a jaunt to get back.
Yeah, that's not a position you want to hold on to for too long, because eventually you will get punished holding there. So credit to Achieve for trying, but sometimes the timing's not right. You can come back, and again, I think we did see his outline still inside of the dirt tunnel, so it's a potential to bounce on back. I think RX is sort of given up, but now it doesn't seem to matter, because they're getting into this building. Finally, the first person will die. It's going to be Shaiko going down, still creeping up the stairs. You see one more as the wall will be opened up somewhat into sight. All things considered, though, I mean, right now, as we walk up into the bomb site, there we go, Achieve does walk in and get the headshot. So that's going to be a 2-player advantage favoring TSM. On this defense, they've been so nice, but Ryan Shearer will make sure that it's not going to be a 3-player ad.
Panic's going to be down on the balcony. Rafael, though, pushing through the breach alone right now, carrying the diffuser, but Bolo going to go for the jump and take down 2. Achieve will wrap it all up with a bow. TSM took 1 round to figure out their mistakes, but it's 3 in a row, a clean sweep on the rotation of bomb sites.
Yeah, that's huge, right? Especially because it's 3 in a row for defenders. You've gone to every bomb that you have to. I don't care how much Flynn likes Barstock. You don't need to go there, TSM. Don't worry.
It's great.
Doesn't have to happen.
Hey, Aaron's my friend, okay? Gotch is my friend, all right?
And he'll listen to me. A bad boss.
He'll listen to me.
Yeah, yell loud enough, and we'll see what he thinks of that. They can go back to Church Arsenal now, and it was one that they failed once before. Of course, if BDS can replicate that success they found in the first round, I still think they're looking really good, right? You get 2 rounds, both of them attacking on Church Arsenal. I mean, that's very impressive from BDS. However, right now, I think we're trending more towards a 5-1 split. And 4-2 is fine for BDS. 3-3 would be amazing. But 5-1's a little bit disappointing, I think, despite the fact that it is very defender-sided in terms of the way the bans have gone. 5-1's like not the end of the world, but I think it's still, again, disappointing for BDS.
I think that first round was really TSM just feeling out their opponent, because there is a little bit of footage from the qualifiers, if they're still up, because a lot of the qualifiers get casted on community caster channels.
Yeah.
And BDS qualified pretty early on in the qualifier process before Raleigh. So those VODs might not even be available anymore. So there's probably not a whole lot of public footage out there on BDS right now as a team. Obviously, there's footage on the individual players for the teams they've played on in the past.
Yeah.
But as a whole team, there's not a whole lot to look over. So I think TSM, they played very static. They played very stationary in the first round. Not necessarily timid, but just not trying to make any mistakes, trying to play safe game of Siege. And beyond the first round, now they've really started to flex out. They've really started to play their kind of play style. They can feel what BDS is looking for here in their entries and their progressions throughout the sites. And they're really starting to flex out a little bit. And you can see it from this roam strategy that TSM are bringing out now on the basement side of Clubhouse. It looks like BDS haven't quite read into it entirely yet, as no one's gone for a full send. And no one's really entered for a roam clear yet. It seems like BDS are still going for their standard strategy of get dirt open, get kitchen hatch open, rip open the floor, and then look to assault Arsenal.
Say what you will about Bolo and his time on TSM in terms of his starts, but one thing you can't take away from is his aim. He seems to be very, very proficient in that. His teammate Achieve will fall for the first time in for the third time, I suppose, first, as he will fall to the ground. But Bolo's got the highest headshot percentage in all of North American Pro League at the moment. He's very proficient on that. And going over to the Vigil signifies that he can play a very aggressive playstyle. With Achieve falling, it makes his life a little bit more difficult, and it puts a question to him. Do you stay around and try to refrag your fallen partner who died a long time ago, very far away? Or do you just retreat and try to play it safe? With RX being so low, I don't hate the idea that he's going to aggress and find somebody way outside, but he just can't hit that headshot just as I'm praising it. A little bit of body damage on the Panics, and the Panics who ends up getting the kill on the Bolo. Huge entry potential from the Capitao to take down both those roamers.
Yeah, the roam for TSM there, pretty spread out. You know, Achieve died on the opposite side of the map from Bolo, and there wasn't really an opportunity to trade. There still is a member. I believe it's Jarvis upstairs for TSM. I think it's over by Master. That might actually be Merc on the mute. But nonetheless, they left some hatches soft. That'll be an easy opener for Shaiko. And when you have two hard breachers banned, you probably don't want to leave hatches soft. But there goes Shaiko anyway. Merc pushing down the main stairs. He's got no idea, just two in kitchen, being shot in the back and still not turning around. Finally, the shotgun will do some damage, but it's the 5.56 to win it out for Rafael. And now BDS up to 4v2.
A lot of question marks around Merc there. Sometimes we do the communication. Sometimes it's just, hey, he's a little bit slow in terms of just figuring out what's going on. You just saw a player get down inside of Dirt Tunnel, and that might even be a reset with RX being able to pick himself back up. I'm not sure where he would have gotten damage from. Pojoman gets a headshot onto Panics, though, and so that shuts down that monster of a player this round. Inside of Dirt Tunnel, RX still trying to do some damage. Pojo with his second, thanks to some Toxic Babes, and all of a sudden we're at an equal 2-2 player count. This is done very well for TSM and Anchor. It's still sitting on site, so using all this utility. You saw just then a Toxic Babe get utilized to kill a player, and then a Gumine as well, stuck inside the foot of Ranshiro. So he's going to have to pull that out now. Saw ahead for just a moment. That was Pojoman, and he's been a bit on fire so far today, and he still is. Headshot to Ranshiro, and Jarvis finishes off Rafael. TSM take round 5, and they continue their streak.
The 3v5 there for all of TSM and the 2v4 for Pojo and Jarvis. What did I say? Former teammates on Dark Zero, former anchors on that team as well. There's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of synergy built up over a long period of time of playing together. And they complete the 2v4 quite nicely. And it really helped, even though that Bolo and Achieve weren't necessarily getting the kills on the roam, they did enter their team into a 3v5. A lot of the members for BDS there, when they came for their collapse, extremely low on HP. RX got down by a Gumine inside of Dirt, went for the withstand, and then died to the first whiff of some toxic gas out of Pojo. So he was basically non-existent for pressure coming down Dirt, minus a stun canister. And then beautiful anchor and beautiful patience coming out from Pojo and Jarvis on site. Not really panicking in a 2v4. Sometimes you'll see a couple of anchors try to swing out a little bit and get a little more aggressive because they are at such a man disadvantage. But Pojo and Jar, they play the time advantage that they had. BDS very low on time. They play the patience game. They know they have the utility spread out amongst the site. It's an easy setup there for TSM and an easy round out of the round there. So we have the 4-1 lead now. It's 4 in a row for Team SoloMid. The lone North American representative left here in DreamHack Montreal. And they're looking to make it 5-1 on a clean sweep for 5 in a row to head into the second half.
I said going into this one after I saw the bans, it looks like we're headed towards maybe a 5-1 or 4-2 for the defenders. Well, I'm right. So there we go. 4-1 or 4-2 or 5-1 are our only possible score lines at the halftime. And BDS, I mean, you're not happy about that, but I think keep a cool head. You are expecting it. The way the bans went, and you had the second attacker ban, so you should have known how it's going to go. You chose this map, so you should be expecting this. Don't let it get to your head. And I'm hoping that because they're the ones who kind of put themselves in this situation, they're going to be prepped for that, and they're not going to kind of shoot themselves in the foot and they'll come back in that second half. Just a little bit concerning if their mental state doesn't quite keep up with the rounds and with the game as how it's been going down. That could be concerning. Still, Shaiko playing on the Ashe, been playing this operator a lot. Again, been an operator that we don't really see that often inside of Pro League just because of its lack of utility. Ashe, typically, she's very good fragger, she's very fast, can kill a lot, yada, 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 but doesn't even have an ACOG anymore, so a lot of people are saying, well, why bother? Shaiko has been showing us why he likes to bother. He's been doing pretty proficiently with her. Like seeing it so far from the French.
Bolo in the lower garage, tending to go for impact trick on those walls, and Shaiko, I guess, not holding the flank here, or not holding the rotate from the main door. Now it's Bolo and Jarvis both going to be heading downstairs into the blue tunnel. Oh, quick peek there from Pojo to go towards the main stairs. In towards Shaiko. So, I mean, this is what I'm saying, man. TSM took a round to kind of sort out their differences and sort out how they wanted to play this game, feel out their opponent in BDS, but ever since then, they've been taking shots left and right, and it's been working out for them. The aggression has really matched and repelled BDS's entry a lot of the time.
Capitao upside down rappel on garage doors, one of the scariest things that you could say as a Rainbow Six Siege player, and that's what's going on right now from Panics. And in the meantime, they also are trying to bandit trick this Raphael Thermite charge. They've also got a Thatcher with them, so hopefully that won't be too big of an issue. A lot of utility being thrown at a Chief so that he cannot get this bandit trick off, because they know how crucial it is. An opening frag will come in for Jarvis. He hits the headshot on a Shaiko. Just as I was singing his praises on the Ashe, he will go ahead and prove me wrong and fall to his death. Panics again with a very strong position he's set up inside, looking at the garage. And now that he's got some pings, he can use those firebolt arrows to force Mark out of position. Doesn't hit the shot though, a little bit slow to switch to his gun. So a foot could still maybe see that foot, but now, hey, you know where he's at. He's gonna run through the fire and he will get burned. Merc falling, and we're back to a 4-on-4, 50 seconds left to go. Pojoman going for a very aggressive peek. Oh, bye-bye, Ryan Shiro. You are not expecting that, and that's the type of smart aggression you can see from a player like Pojoman. Not gonna throw his life away, but still doing a lot of work.
Bolo's going to attack on and take down Panics. There goes the Capitao pushing up the cache stairs, though, is RX down to about 20 HP, and he vaults to the rotate to his immediate demise. Achieve locking that one down with ease, and now it's all Rafael in the bottom of garage. Try and keep BDS from only getting one round to start off the game and losing 5 in a row, but it does not look promising so far for the French squad, as Rafael still looking down the blue stairs, looking for any potential flanks, but with 15 seconds left, his only option is to full send up these cache stairs. And yeah, there's going to be 2 people holding this rotate. All 3 members for TSM all stacked inside of cache and construction. Oh, Rafael's going to be able to get it down onto one, fires in towards Jarvis to knock him down to a half HP. He hits a Legion Mine though, and there's no time. It's going to run out on the clock, and that is TSM taking it 5 in a row to head into the second half.
I want to bring it back to that Pojo aggression. I mean, you don't really expect that from TSM, right? At least BDS weren't. If you see that kind of a play, it's something that you very rarely see because there is that coverage. However, BDS not having that, not having somebody watching that wall for somebody to do something silly and aggressive like that, that's a big deal. And I don't think it's TSM just rolling the dice and saying, there probably won't be anybody there, let's just go for it. More likely than not, they had that information. Somehow the call was made, and TSM were able to capitalize off of a very small, but I think deadly space in the defense of BDS, despite the fact they were attacking in that round. They couldn't have let themselves open, and TSM stabbed exactly where there was a chink in the chainmail.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Downstairs we go for BDS to start things on the defense, mirroring a little bit of what TSM was bringing in. Pojoman! Wow. Pojo GOAT. 8-5 right now on the support play. I mean, it was so weird. The tale of Pojoman is so antithetical to what you usually see. It's a player who's been around for day one, and there's not a lot of those anymore. You know, as the game has progressed and the game has aged, there's been new talent coming up, and we see it every time in both EU and North America, and even now in LATAM. A bunch of new players coming into the fold that were underage back when Pro League started, and they've come up through the ranks, and they've made their way through minor leagues, and they've made their way and impressed either in Challenger League or just in the eyes of pro teams, and they've gotten picked up over time. Pojo looked like his playing career was pretty much done. He wasn't doing too hot on Dark Zero. They dropped him, and he went to coaching. He said, okay, I'm going to coach now. I'm going to go to the bench. I'm going to watch the guys, and I'm going to make sure that I can still bring my knowledge of the game to my players, but I can't necessarily get in the action. And then all of a sudden, he has to come in for when Crusher was on TSM, and he got benched. And he comes out shot out of a cannon, just absolutely demolishing teams. And it's been so awesome to see this run of Pojo through the qualifiers in Raleigh, now here in DreamHack. It looks like his entire playstyle, his entire career has been revitalized by that little bit of a break he had as a coach.
100%. I think especially when Gotcha came in, we were wondering like, well, where does Pojoman fit? He's been fitting very, very well. So that's fantastic to see from him. TSM, with the couple of pickups they made, both the coach and their player, I think people were wondering if they would continue the success from Raleigh, and they have been, right? Inside of DreamHack Montreal, they've been fantastic. Up against BDS now, we'll see if their run is going to end. A couple of rounds here. Looking pretty good, 5-1 split, but as I mentioned before this game started, don't count out BDS just because of that. They're still a very strong roster, and holding on the defense, no doubt in my mind, they picked this map because they have a lot of strong defensive holds. This is going to be a bit of a show from them, I'm sure.
Firing down through the kitchen, and honestly, this is a pretty good setup here for TSM, but again, they're going to have the same struggles that BDS had on their attacks. You know, we see a 5-1 scoreline right now for TSM, and I think, yeah, that looks really good on paper, but there's a lot of context behind that isn't really revealed in the scoreline, and this collapse from Blue seems to be an ulterior motive for, oh my, what a shot there from Merc under Richiro in the depths of Black Box. We still got one behind the Blue generator, but it's ulterior to what BDS were going for. It was a lot of Arsenal presence and focus. And now it seems like TSM is really hard focusing on Blue Tunnel, trying to overload into the back of Armory and panics. He's gonna get burnt alive. That's 2 now from Merc now. The asphyxiating bolt will clean out panics from Blue, and this is all the entry they need.
Again, the long-range pressure being utilized by Merc, and up through the hatch, Shaika's trying to take an engagement, but really be successful. A lot of missed shots from both sides. He takes the time to deal with the downed player, a bit of a questionable play by him, but hey, no harm, no foul. You get that. Information no longer being called on your position. Meanwhile, the other members of TSM, very frag heavy, are pushing into the blue area. Coming forward, still Shaiko on the bottom of this hatch. Does Jarvis even realize at this point he wants to be so careful before he drops because he knows that probably somebody's down there. Now he sees him, and now he hits the shot. Thank you, Jarvis. At least 2 players alive on BDS, so they're going to be able to hold on to this one. It's 2 anchors. No, they are not. RX. Oh, Rafael with 1. He only has to hold on for 10 seconds. This time, actually not great, and based on the positioning, I don't know that TSM are aware of where he's at. They're planting those, so this should be time advantage. TSM missing a few shots. Rafael, that's huge. Gets 1 down. Double kill. Things will slow down as the diffuser gets planted. Rafael taking that very long reload animation. Not going to punish for it. Near 100. TSM have a couple of players bunkered down. They don't want to make any moves. Any sudden noises to scare the dinosaur of Rafael. Halfway through that diffuser now, Bolo SMG 11 in hand, changing from the L8A 2. Oh, knows he's creeping up. Does he hear this though? Crouch down. Oh, turns the corner. Rafael hits the triple. Going for the quadrant. Just has to kill Jarvis and get the disable, but the time is so low. Jarvis, this is the shots, but I don't think he's got time, but it's right there. Oh no, Rafael. I don't think it's got it. Failure. TSM will win the round based off of time. Well played by them, and heartbreaking for both players on BDS.
What a beautiful comeback there in terms of kills for Rafael, but it's the reload time and the 1 speed there for the Maestro. You got to pick up the pace in that situation. There are so many objectives you need to complete, and I mean, he did a beautiful job of intentionally targeting 1v1s, making sure that he was never going to be in a position to be crossfired from any of the remaining members for Team SoloMid, and honestly, that was beautiful. He just needed like an extra 5 seconds, and he probably would have had the defuse as well. But that means that TSM, like BDS, will start their attacks successful. And now it's BDS with their back against the wall here on map number 1 on their map pick. Next up will be Cafe, and if required, we will head to Coastline. But TSM now in the driver's seat after winning 6 rounds in a row.
That's a heartbreaker, too. I mean, you talk about BDS in terms of momentum. I haven't watched this team enough to know if they are a huge momentum-based team. Of course, being brand new to the scene. Not new players, don't get me wrong, but a new formed team for CL season number 10. And now coming into DreamHack Montreal's BYOC team. There's a lot of question marks around them, and if they turn out to be a very emotional team, I think they're probably done for. Going down 6-1 really is a strain on you. There's so much pressure. You're playing on a big stage. There's a bit of an audience outside in front of them, too, here in Montreal. The fans have really come out for day number 3 at our tournaments, and it's awesome to see. But for BDS, they can't let any of that get to them, right? They've got to be able to hold fast. They've got to think just about the game. Every round is a new round. We were in a review a couple of days ago, and as the people were saying, it's always 0-0. Nothing matters from one round to the other, so it's really important that you just focus and take it one round at a time. The fact that TSM were able to win last 6 rounds in a row now can't get to them. And so BDS, you're on the defense. You're playing bomb sites that you should be proficient in because you chose this map. You're on Church Arsenal. Forget what happened last round. Come on in and win this entry frag. Okay, just like that, Shaiko. Bit of a weird engagement, but will take down Merc. Took so much damage in the process as he initially decided to turn tail and run, but no, turns around and is able to get the frag. Uncharacteristic battle of Merc to actually lose that one, too.
Yeah, look at the advantage on that one, but I mean, that's Shaiko for you, right? You always think you have an advantage, and then Shaiko shows up and your advantage disappears into thin air. For the rest of TSM here, they now lose a lot of utility, and utility that was really instrumental in getting the control of Blue, the asphyxiating bolt all the way down to the back of Armory, and the back of Church, as well as just Merc's presence inside of Blue. They've lost a member that was integral to their push last time. Electric Claw trick coming out from Panics now onto the hatch. Gonna throw another one down, and that might get it. Jarvis, oh no, he's got the EMP on. Good timing there, and coordination again between Jarvis and Pojo, and for Team BDS. They still have the man advantage, but I mean, Shaiko's one shot from anything in the game, and really, it's gonna come down to their collapse and how they repel the blue push, and TSM want to angle in for that again.
Nice thing for that 1 HP, though. There's no goo mines and there's no toxic babes. That's something. RX extends this lead, but now Shaiko has actually been down, so you're gonna have to deal with that. Bolo off the board, that's 2 big fraggers being cleaned up by TSM. There goes a toxic babe, and again, those blue mines can do a whole lot of work if they come to effect for BDS, so they're very, very happy with this. TSM, 3-on-5 in the moment, just about to hit that 1 minute mark in the round. It's Achieve, probably the one who's going to get a lot of frags. Again, we've been talking about how Pojoman has been popping off on this map in particular, and Jarvis has his moments too, but I think Achieve's going to have to go big. If he dies neck, this is probably a round over for TSM. They're starting to lurk their way into the basement, and you can tell they are not really at an accelerated pace. It's going very, very slowly for them here, and there goes Achieve, just as we're talking about him. Rafael will fall to him inside of Blue, so you're taking those long angles, you're maybe going at angles that they're not expecting, and you're catching people off guard. Winning those gunfights isn't the biggest thing in the world, as long as you find yourself in useful positions. Jarvis will also clean up one onto RX, and oh, they have no idea where he's at. They're both going to charge at him, but he's got a triple kill in the midst of all of that. Jarvis all of a sudden turns it on. There goes one more, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's a one-on-one, 20 seconds, plenty of time on the clock, and very little HP from both players. Jarvis and Shaiko, we have seen this so many times. For the map, remind you, Jarvis, if he hits this shot, he won't. Shaiko keeps him in it. Round number 8 goes to BDS.
Whew. What a push there from Jarvis, almost collecting the 4-bang to round out the map in style. But BDS, they weather the storm, and honestly, that's all Shaiko. That is Shaiko getting the first opener onto Merc, surviving that engagement. He got unintentionally downed by Achieve's Zofia impact inside of Blue Tunnel, crawled to safety, and then the entire coordination for BDS for the Legion to rotate from behind the generator to pick him up, and then a smoke canister, a toxic smoke canister being launched at the Blue Tunnel to disrupt Achieve's visibility. And as Shaiko ran back across to the generator, Achieve missed by an inch because he couldn't see where Shaiko was. Beautiful coordination there, and then Shaiko stands out above the rest once again. So promising defense there that time around. If it wasn't for Jarvis making an absolute haymaker of a play coming up the main hallway, that would have been a dominating round for BDS, but they escaped with it nonetheless, and you can see the top of the scoreboard there for BDS. All equals, 8s, 8s, 8s for Renshir, Shaiko, and Rafael. And now we go to Gym Bedroom instead of CCTV and Cash.
I like it. I like it because it can sort of throw off the opponent, right? You're going to have to win every bomb site anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much the order you're going. To counter that, though, I mean, Bolo's been playing the sledge consistently, and that's going to be the main thing that you use to try to counter these castle barricades. The one sort of big thing about Gym Bedroom, you can play it when the opponent's not expecting it. Sometimes the opponent just won't bring enough to try to counter these castle barricades. They have a sledge, though. I mean, they have a Zofia. They have a lot that they can try to do up against these barricades. So I don't think it's going to be a hugely impactful thing. But at the same time, in BDS, again, don't let it mentally slip away from you, but you have to do this eventually. Why not do it right now?
Still a lot of setup going on towards the Cash side. 3 members for BDS all stacked on the east, and this window is wide open. Ready for peeks are both Bolo and Merc right now, waiting for anyone to train their sights into this window to try and take aim towards the master balcony. The rest of TSM, though, they're assembling themselves over towards the jacuzzi wall, looking to avoid this roam, at least in the early onset, I imagine. They'll either just guard the window and try and assault through the jacuzzi wall into the gym hallway, or they'll take their time and go across. There's so much utility and personnel invested on the far side, I think TSM might be better off just focusing on the gym hallway and overloading on site.
We're going to open a couple of these hatches, and again, that sledgehammer going to come in very useful for the guys all over on TSM. One thing I should mention, though, is that because they're going here in round number 9, CCTV is not going to be open twice. They can go for it once, but they're going to have to defend Gym Bedroom twice on BDS. So still not choice in terms of bomb sites. We'll see if that actually ends up hurting them too much, or perhaps they just really do enjoy defending on this bomb site. Because they're a team we haven't seen a whole lot of, it's tough to say if that's going to be the case or not. A couple of players lurking around here, and you see both Bolo and Achieved trying to make their way in, and there hasn't been a lot of map control just yet. We're halfway through this round, and Bolo still isn't on the top floor. Achieved isn't on the top floor. Shaiko is killing Mark somewhere around the map. A little bit worrying for him. Looks like it might have been outside of a window. So you've got Bolo finally getting a little bit of aggression on the stairs. But the question is going to be, when are those walls going to be opened up if they haven't been opened up already? And then how quickly are TSM actually going to be flooding in, because there's not a ton of time to do all of the prep work that you need.
Chief's going to have a hard time pushing down for this logistics hash, but a beautiful shot there from Bolo onto Shaiko to level man count. Had the health advantage as well as RX taking some damage inside, and Bolo again onto Rafael. It's the man advantage that TSM needs to start pushing into the objective. Last 3 members are pushing over from the far side to retreat back to site, and they'll be cut down. Holding the rotates now will be Achieved. TSM looking to onslaught into Jim and get a plant down, but there's a member inside of Jim now. Panics with 1. Will drop Pojo, and that's the diffuser. They have no idea where he is. He's prone inside of Jim. He's looking right at him, but Bolo cannot see him. Prone right beside the Jim hatch, underneath those kill holes, turning the corner, and he'll stand up and rip right through Jarvis. Go for the jump out now. Achieved taking aim. He's downed him off. It's now Panics alone in a 1v2 as Bolo and Achieved have control of the site. Panics needs to retreat back through construction as the plant is going down from Bolo. Achieved on the cover, holding a pretty passive angle on the construction door. Bolo's going to pull off the plant, and Achieved's going to tell him to plant closer. Re-engaging the plant now behind the central mattress. Turning the corner, and it's Panics has no idea. That's going to wrap it up. Achieved will close it out, and Team Solo